Good morning. Today is Monday, November 23rd, 2020. Today is my daughter's birthday. Happy birthday, Devora. Many times I have quoted to you from the teaching of Sivan Rahav Meir. It's quite incredible. She has become, without any exaggeration, one of the world's greatest Torah teachers in just the last several years. She is brilliant. She works as a TV reporter and interviewer. She has tremendous presence, speaking style, although she speaks very fast. But she is a very powerful and successful speaker. She's brilliant. She has a range of sources at her disposal, classical, modern. The range of her knowledge is immense. And what she also has is she has her finger on the pulse of popular culture. And she has a way of making her Torah so relatable and so applicable. And she is a very careful critic, observer and critic, both positive and negative, of popular culture. So you may know that last year she spent the year in North America. Based in New York, she traveled around speaking in different communities on Shabbos. During the week, she was giving lectures from New York. She was here in Montreal one Shabbos. And so she has given a number of Divrei Torah since about her experience of living in America. And this is something that she shared a couple of days ago. She said, the most quintessentially American phenomenon that she encountered during her stay in America, without any doubt, was Amazon Prime. So, okay, we all know Amazon is the place where you can buy everything. Literally everything in the world is for sale on Amazon. I know I talked about purchasing Olam Haba last week. I'm sure somewhere on Amazon you can find it, maybe for 100 ruble. I don't know. But that's Amazon. Then there's Amazon Prime. Now, Amazon Prime is not just like a service of Amazon. It's a way of life, because Amazon Prime means when you order something, it comes within 24 hours. That's not only a technological marvel, it's an American state of mind. If you want something, you get it now, right now. I want it, I have to have it now, today, now. She says in Israel it's not like that. She says it's not like in Israel we're still drawing water from a well. But there's a big difference between Israel and America, she says. In America there is a culture. And the message of that culture is everything is available now. You don't need any restraint. You don't need any planning. You don't need any patience now. The truth is, I've shared with you a commercial. Maybe Sivan did not see this commercial. I'm sure she would have quoted this commercial. It was a commercial at least a couple months ago for a food delivery service called Grubhub. And Grubhub's motto was, get it all, get it now. Any food you want, anything, right now, no waiting, right now. What stands out in the book of Bereshis in general is very much the opposite of that. Patience, expectation, a brilliant future filled with promises but far off, not yet realized. We discussed this before. Abraham was promised such amazing promises, and yet almost none of them came true within his life, or within the life of his son Yitzchak, or within the life of his son Yaakov. Every single thing of value that our patriarchs and our matriarchs have, they had to work hard for, and it took a long time. Abraham was 75 years old before Hashem instructed him to start his life's journey, Lech Lecha. In last week's Parsha, the Parsha begins with Yitzchak and Rivka. They're married. Rivka is not able to conceive a child. And the Parsha begins that they're davening. They're each praying. Rashi explains, one is on this side of the room, the other is on this side of the room. They're praying to God to be able to have a child. When we read the Parsha, it appears to us that it was a one-time prayer. She stood here and prayed. He stood here and prayed. They davened, they prayed. And yet, the Pasuk tells us that though Yitzchak and Rivka were married when Yitzchak was 40 years old, when by the time Rivka had given birth to Esav and to Yaakov, Yitzchak was 60 years old. In other words, it was not a one-time prayer. It was a 20-year-long prayer. A single prayer that lasted 20 years. In our Parsha this week, we will learn about Yaakov searching for a wife. And he finally finds Rachel and Leah, the wives that he will marry first. And he is engaged to marry them for 7 years. For 7 years he is working for Lavan before he first marries Leah and then marries Rachel. Over and over again, we see that what is important requires patience. It's not like Amazon Prime. I remember when I was just in my late 20s and I was working on a project. This was when we had first come to New Haven, Connecticut. I was working on a project and it took 4 years. I worked on it diligently and finally it happened after 4 years. And when it finally happened, it was very gratifying. It's something that's still in existence. When it finally happened, I thought to myself, this is the single project that I have worked on longer than any other project in my, at that time, young life. And that's a really important lesson. To be able to have goals, to be able to want to achieve certain yardsticks. And it takes time. Not everything is available on Amazon Prime. And a lesson that we learn from our Parsha, from last week's Parsha, from next week's Parsha, is this lesson that Sivan Rahav Meir teaches us. To be able to work for something important and to have patience. And it takes time. And to know that our expectations cannot be met immediately at this moment. I would continue this Dvar Torah, except that I did yesterday order something on Amazon Prime and they're about to deliver it, so I will have to end for today. I wish you all a great day and I look forward to seeing all of you soon in person.